Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to create this product section as well as the section below here for the popular search and also for the blog post, and regarding the search page also we will going to create it. As you remember, in our first part we have been done till here, so till the product part it was finished. And if you are not having the code yet, remember in the link on the description below, it will be here, the repo link. In the main, you're gonna get each and every code which we have been done here, and if you're interested to go with the code to know by how I did that, I will keep the link in the description below for this video. It will be the first link, so you can have this, you can have that link and get to know for the first part. And of course, if you're coming here, like the video and subscribe the channel, it will be a great help so that it can be more reachable to the other people. And so today we are going to start to create from here that product section. And if you are having this code, the first part, remember you can toggle through this part 2 branch is available here. In that part 2 branch, today's code it will be available. Okay, so the part 2 branch, you can just switch the branch and your code it will be there. So after finishing each and every part, we will merge everything on the main. So today's video, whatever I'm gonna cover, this code it will be available here, and we will go each single step by steps how you can implement. And if you are not having that yet, how you can do that, just from here you need to clone that. Then after cloning, you just open your code within your editor. Then as you see, there is one admin directory, also there is a client directory. You just need to cd into your directory the way I did. I went and I just cd into the directory and just write that pnpm start, and the same with the client pnpm dev. And if you're facing any problem, any trouble that you are not able to create that, let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna help you. Maybe we're gonna just get a one-to-one session to let you do all of the things. And if you are completed the first part yet, then welcome back to the second part. So now how we are going to start today, over here we're gonna do 3 parts. So first part, it will be for our product list, you can say. Then we are going to have that, okay, it will be product. Okay, then after the product list, we are going to get through that. One of another portion is, it should be discounted banner, and the last part it will be blog section. So after finishing those section, maybe we're gonna go deep down to create other properties. And to go initialize that one in that UI, I'm gonna take a file which is going to be that product list and .tsx. So let's just create our snippet function arrayfce. So now I'm having my product list, so let's go in that app.tsx. so I'm gonna just import that product list here. Okay, product list, oops, it should be product, oh sorry, product list. Okay, so now we should be able to see our list here. That list is already there, so let's just go start working on it. And to implement each and every single part, instead of the div, I'm gonna wrap it within my container. It will be container. Okay, and also need to import that container from should be, yeah, from the container. Okay, so as I wrap it within the container, as you can see, the distance is already worked, and also our properties is worked properly because it's just going through max width of axle and mx auto to keep in the middle. Now in the product list, we should be able to create one div properties. So just let's create one div, then put a class name. For right now, I'm gonna take another div. Sorry, it will be div. Then I'm gonna keep my title. Did we create any title? Yeah, that's the title we have been created. So let's just get over there, and we're gonna pass that on the title. It should be the text, and that text should be top sales, but we can say the top selling products. Okay, So that's the top selling products is working. And also we can do one more properties, that below that we can put a link parameter which we need to import from that React router DOM, as we use the wait for creating that. And instead of self closing, I'm gonna put a double tap on there, should be view all products. So if anyone click on that, they can view all the products, all the available products. So now if anyone click on that, it will directly inject to our product. Why I'm spelling the name product, and also it should be here products. Okay, so now this is coming all together, so we need to just a bit of work with that. Let's just put class name should be flex and item center justify between. As you see, it's separated together. Now after that div, I'm gonna just grab another div properties. I'm gonna make it as a self-closing div. I'm gonna put a class name, and that class name, it will be width going to be full, height going to be 1 pixel. You can put also that HR, that line parameter, that will also work with the fine, and 200, and margin top should be 3. Okay, as you see, there is a line between there. If I click on the products, you see it's getting us somewhere in the product. So now as we did that parameter, we need to grab the product. And how we can grab that? So let's just go and create another functionality. As you see, that's the div. So I'm gonna keep margin bottom of 10 so that we can initialize another properties, and here we're going to create that pagination. Okay, so that pagination, it should be applicable for to create the pagination and also make other properties. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just create another file which will be pagination.tsx. Now here we're gonna do the trick. So I'm gonna get that pagination here. Okay, pagination, and also need to import pagination from pagination. So you see, that's the pagination where we're gonna wrap the data here. So it should be somewhere like that. So what we are created here, we're gonna compile it here. Okay, so now how we can make it? So let's just go in the pagination, and remember we need to get all single products here, right? So if we go back to our category, not in the category, in the header where we have been just got that category, remember we used that category from there. So what we can do is that we can grab this category and then we can use it here. In that way we can make that happen. So just let's get that categories, and we can also go with our localhost 8000 where our backend is running, our API is running. If I click on the product, you see all products data is available right now here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just get all of this code from here, just copy, and here in that product list in the pagination, I'm gonna paste it here. So we need to initialize several properties. We need to get the use state and also the use effect, and as we are going to use that hook from that React, we need to make our component as use client component, and here I'm gonna put that products, and it should be set products, products. Okay, so these products, it gonna be make the properties, and our inline should be the products, not the categories. And if you are already watched my previous video, you're gonna having a very good understanding how we have been created that. And if you're not get that yet, let me know also in the comments below. Maybe I can help you to go with to make that understand it. And also in future, I'm gonna merge all of the playlist, all because it will be all that video part, whatever part is created, maybe 3 or 4 parts, it will be there, all part it will be merged in a playlist, so you can get one by one in the down. And also I'm gonna link all the video links wherever I finish that, so from there you can just grab it. So now we'll be able to get the product. So let's just log the products if we can see that. So it will be log and should be products, and we're gonna get our products here. So let's just go in our client side. I'm gonna just inspect here in the console. Let's see if we are good to go. We should be able to see our product. You see, we have 25 products. So that's the similar things we have here. We have 25 products, but we can toggle through the pages. Every single page I'm giving 15 products. So if I just click, as you see, the next 10 products is loaded, so 25 of 25. So that's the similar pattern we are going to follow, and we're gonna make it happen there. And to just do that, I'm gonna use one library, which is I'm just loving to go with that simplicity, and it's really very easy to implement, which one is that React Pagination. If we just click on it, again, what I really want you to do, go and read whatever the documentation they are providing, how they are building and how the building blocks is working. So if you are visiting here, you're gonna have a very good idea to how you can entertain yourself with those code and how you can learn much in a much better way. But to work with me, I will let you describe whatever the way I'm preferring and how the method I'm implementing. But even though after doing that, please come here and read whatever the packages or third-party libraries I'm using. Try to read documentation from here, okay, whichever is available. So let's go here, and as I'm using in the PowerShell, if I put ls, it should be showing I'm in the root. So I'm gonna go in the client, because as I'm gonna install that one in a client side. And by the way, today's all the work, it will be only in the client side. So pnpmi should be React Paginate. So after installing, how we are going to dealing with it, so let's just go. We are now having our products here. So as we are having the products, we can go with that. Okay, what's wrong with that? Implicitly any type. Okay, any type. Okay, for right now, okay, we will give that one later. For right now, just keep it the same way. So now what we can do is that we can go with our pagination and items properties. So we have our products here, and also we're gonna pass a variable, so it should be const, and then we're gonna pass that items per page should be 15. Okay, so that is our per page item. I'm gonna just remove that. Right now it's not needing that one. So what we are going to do, we are just going to do some several tricks over here. I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it properly. So right now I'm gonna just define some of the properties which I am actually getting from here. As you remember, the website I have been there for the React Paginate, so that's the one I'm just getting from there. I'm gonna just hopping that everything, and I'm gonna popping, I'll just keep it below here, okay, to keep just going simple. Now here what's actually is doing, it's just creating that set item offset and item start when the item is starting, and the current items, it should be that our products, as I'm not using the items, so also it should be the products. And again, why I'm saying you that, try to read the documentation, which can make a lot of sense there. So also it should be, as is coming with that item, should be products length. So that's the parameter is giving. So what actually is doing, it's giving you from which item it is started, and also the current items parameter, and the page count, like how many pages is. As you see, total products dot length, I have 25 products, so it gonna, with the length, it will multiply whatever the item per page I define here. So that's the similar things, simple things they are doing, and you can just go to see all the event, but I will not go with that. I'm just setting that item offset and item start. So let's hit save. And now what we need to do is that we need to go with some of the parameters here in that div. I'm gonna just remove as a div, not gonna use it. Here I'm gonna take one parameter of items, which we're gonna create it, and in the item we're gonna pass that current item should be as current items. So now that's the, what you say, that's the component we need to create at the top layer. So top of that we're gonna create that. So in that here we're gonna make that const items, and here we're gonna take that current items, and after that we're gonna define our function. So now in that current items we can actually go and get some of the properties. So what we are going to go define the type here. So interface, it should be that type properties we are going to define. So it will be items props, and that items props is going to make that current items. It should be that product props, the array of product props. And if you are not familiar with the array of product props, you can just roll back to the types we have. You can just pass here the product props, the product value we are described here, whatever the properties we are having here with the product, that's all you can find it here. So now also we need to define another properties which should be interface, because within that what kind of value you're gonna have. So it will be one for that pagination props, also we need to provide that. So in that pagination props, the items for right now I'm gonna just define it, keep it like that. If we need, then we're gonna use it. So here I'm gonna put that items props. Okay, so that will be our current properties, and here we're gonna return a value. Okay, so return, and in that return we're gonna just simply pass a div. So in that div we are going to get that if we have that current items, and we're gonna return of that parameter. So means we're gonna map through that our current items. Okay, so we're gonna map that current items dot map, it will be dot map, and here I'm gonna just pass it as an item which going to be that product props. So it's a singular item, so it can be go avail with the product props. Okay, so now from here I'm gonna return something. For right now, just to go with that, I'm gonna just return a p tag, and it should be saying product will go here. And also as we are mapping through it, we need to provide a key property. Let's just provide that key, should be item dot. You see all the properties are available, so we need to provide that the unique is the ID. So you're gonna put that item.id. So what you're gonna see here right now, if we go and evaluate, you see item, the product will go here. How many products? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So 15 products it gonna come here. So how we can just go and gather all other 10 properties? So that's what we're gonna do right now. So that's the item. So we need to create our product here. Okay, so simply we can just go here. I'm gonna just pass through right now, we're gonna do it later. Product card.tsx RAFCE. So our product cards it are going to be applied here. So instead of that one, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna just simply wrapping here our product card. Okay, so that product card it will be appeared here, and in that product card we're gonna pass the key the similar way, which going to be item.id, and here we're gonna pass one more properties. So how we can get the products, we can just simply pass the item as item. So now we can grab that items within our product card, and then we can align it here. So simple. But before doing it that, just let us go and create one more things by which we can get other properties too. So after that, below on that item, I'm gonna take a div here. So in that div I'm gonna do some simple magic. Okay, so that simple magic, it will be included this part, these two properties it gonna align here. Whenever we click, it will just render the properties and other parameter. And by the way, it will be generating a very good way, so all the unique product it will be available here. So let's just go over here, and then in that product I'm gonna use that the proportion from that React Paginate. So that's the component they are providing here to do all the binding. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just hopping through it to the parameters of what we are going to actually dealing with, or I can write name of that. So the next label, which I'm gonna just keep it empty, so we are not going to provide any label properties now. So on page change, in on page change we're gonna just make that handle page click. Remember, we are having one function here, so that function is responsible to bring up the other products. So what it's going to do is, as you see, just a simple way, it's just creating a new offset and then with the event selected, you see this the items per page. So per page we define with that percentage is gonna just compare the length. If it's finding that some of the items is available, then it's just we just doing with the new start, and set item start is keeping with the new start, set item offset it creating with this new offset. So if I'm going to explain those things, the video gonna length be so much more. So what I'm referring you, go with React Paginate, read the documentation, and you will understand much better, and also try to implement rather than this project, try to implement also in the other project, which can be really helpful for you. So now we can get the data from handle page click, and then page ranked displayed, which I'm gonna just keep it 3, and also one properties should be margin page displayed, I'm gonna keep it 2, and then let's just page count. That page count should be the page count we are having in the top layer, so that's the count it will be there. So let's go and see if anything appearing. Nope, nothing appearing yet, because it will not give us anything yet. We need to make it more level based. So previous level, that previous level also I'm gonna keep it as empty, as I'm not gonna use it right now. So now I'm gonna give that page link class name to provide some class. So width should be 9, height should be 9, and also I'm gonna give a border of 1 pixel of border, and then border should be light color, and hover border should be gray of 500, and then duration should be 300. Flex justify should be, just make that center, item should be center. Okay, that's the properties for it. And also one more thing we're gonna provide should be page class name, and margin right should be 6, and other properties container class name also we need to provide. So I'm gonna make flex, text should be base, and font should be semi bold, and after that padding y should be 10, and the last one active class name, whichever is active, I'm gonna just make that as background black, and text should be white. So let's see. As you see, that's the properties coming. If I click 2, as you see that 2, if I click 1, that properties is appearing. So means it's working, and we are going to get one more properties, should be just taking a p tag from where I'm gonna show the product lens. So it should be products from, remember now we are going to use that item start. So now I can see from which item start to, now we are going with that math.min, so we can get the mean value. So int offset, and then item, not the item, remember we use that product, so item is coming by default, so I'm gonna just get that product dot length from there, and that's it. So after that off, and then we also need to pass item, not the item, oops, it should be product dot product dot length. Okay, so now as you see, products from 1 to 15, if I click products 16 to 25 of 25, so we can get the altogether value which is available here. Now just let's make some deal here. So I'm gonna make it, let's put the class name, I'm gonna make it flex. By default it's going to be flex column for the smaller devices, and MD should be flex row, which we are just seeing right now, and justify should be center, and MD justify should be between, justify should be between, and item should be center. So right now what's the wrong we are getting, we should, okay, everything is good. Okay, now we can see that product is working. Okay, so everything is working right now in a fine fashion. So this is the time when we need to create our product card. So remember that product card we're gonna use in a lots of screen and lots of other properties. I'm gonna close others, as you see, that product's going to be responsible to display the products here, display the products here, even though all other screen wherever we are going to render the products, especially if we go in the shop. Remember, the product card is that it will be the same product card which we are going to use. Okay, so that product card actually is gonna having a very much boost on it, so we need to make it with every single flexible way we can make. So let's just go and create that product card. Error is coming from the item, never meant for that. So let's go in that product card, and here first we need to define two parameter. One parameter, it should be let's just go here, and it should be like, first we need to get the item, and in that product card we can define, so we can just define that parameter. So we will go with that, should be interface, and we're gonna just define of that properties, so it should be props, and the items which we are having now should be product props. Okay, so that would be the item as a single item. We just need to pass that props here, and as we did that, as you may see right now in that pagination, error here is been done. So also I'm going to remove, as we are not using right now. Okay, so the error is gone as we define the type here for that particular item. Now what we need to do, we need to show the item how it's going to look. So let's just go over here, and first we are going to show some so some of the properties. Let's just see how it will be looking. For that, as you see, okay, that would be like that. Okay, that's cool. And also if we go in that our layer here in that pagination, we need to define some of the parameter the way we have been dealing here. See, that current, that's the div, so we need to put a class name over there. So it should be grid, and the grid calls by default is going to be 2, md grid call should be 3, and lg grid call should be 4. And also you're gonna give a gap of 5. And why I'm dealing with that right now, as you remember, we need to put the grid pattern so that it should be aligned properly. So we just did that things from here. Now what we're gonna do is that in that product card we will start putting the things. So let's put some class name here just to define how it's working. So it should be border gray of 200, and then round should be lg, and padding should be 1. Overflow, I'm gonna make it hidden, and why I make that hidden I'm gonna explain later on. And hover should be, border should be black, and then duration of 200, cursor pointer. And again I am asking one more favor from you. If my explanation you are not understanding, also if you are feeling not pace on it, let me know in the comments below. Just let me know how the way you prefer to explain each and everything, so that I can focus and let you know how it can be more preferable. Hit save. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you see, our product cards is available. So we are dealing with the product right now. If you're really feeling this, you're learning something new, let's just hit the like button and subscribe the channel, because nearly 70% of you users are just coming in the channel not subscribe. Do subscribe, it would be very helpful for me to just do the project. Okay, so now we are getting that product card. So after that I'm gonna just prioritize one image property. So I'm gonna take an img, and here I'm gonna get that item dot, it should be images. As we have multiple images, from here I'm gonna take the single parameter, because if you just go in our backend, as you see we have 5 images here, all images is available. So it's coming with the properties, because we will just to go that and throw that images here. So that's the way we have 5 images link here, but we're gonna render 1 images here. You can just go and whenever hover try to render the properties with the several image. You can do the tricks if you really like to do it, and it should be product image. Okay, hit save and see what we got. As you see, we're getting something. Okay, now let's start styling with that, and we're gonna go with that. So class name, which should be full, and height should be full height with the parameter whatever is providing true. And by the way, instead of providing in that line, I'm gonna just wrapping through within the div because later on we're gonna have a badge tag here also, so which should be full. Oops, need to provide the class name. Width, it will be full width. Height should be 60, and how much is 60? If you wrap over there, 240 pixel. And also I'm gonna make it relative, as well as something going to be absolute there. Padding should be 2, and I'm gonna make it as group. So let's save. As you see, not looking so nice, but we're gonna make it looks nice. Now it should be rounded MD, so medium rounded. Object should be cover, not contain, cover, and group. So whenever we're gonna hover on the group, so it should be group hover. Should be, we're gonna make a scale here. That scale should be 110, and the duration we're gonna give is as far as 300. Okay, so now as you see on hover, yeah, that effect is just coming from there. As you see, that's also the same. And I think one simple mistake which we have been done, that should be the pagination column which we provided here. It should not be, oops, it should be here. It should not be for that 4, it should be 5. Yeah, that's the one. That's why it's coming of 4 together. Okay, so now we need to do some other properties. I'm gonna take one span tag here, so it should be that span. Okay, in that span tag I'm gonna just write that save, and I'm gonna take one of the properties which should be okay, it should be that the one which we are using. We need to get that as percentage, otherwise we can't use it. So we're gonna get the percentage from here. We're gonna destructure the percentage, so it should be const percentage equal to, it should be from there that item dot regular price. So whatever the regular price we are providing, then item dot that the price which have the discounted price. Now we should divide with the parameter to get the margin value. Should be divide by that regular price, and after dividing we need to multiply with the 100. With that we are getting that percentage. So if we are just passing that percentage here, percentage, you can see there is a very big percentage, but I'm gonna just make it as to fixed, and I'm gonna just wrap it within 0, so no more other properties should be aligned with here, and outside of it I'm gonna pass the percentage side. So as you see, we can save 25%, 16%. Don't worry, we're gonna make it looks much more better. So put a class name, and it should be, I'm gonna give a background of black, and then text should be sky text, sky text. Okay, and I'm gonna make it absolute. From left it should be 0, from right should be 0. Width, I'm gonna give a 16 of width, and text should be extra small text. I'm gonna make it in center, and then padding Y, so the padding vertically 1, and rounded should be MD, and after that font should be semi bold. Inline, I'm gonna make it inline block, and Z index should be 10, so it will be upper of the image, as you see. Okay, cool. And there is one more properties. If we click here, as you see the props is coming. Hurry up, you are going to save $70 from this product. Got it, thanks. So as you see, each and every click you get the idea how much you are saving. So you don't need to calculate here, you don't need to minus from here what is 11% of it, how much the money he's going to save. You can just show it here. We're gonna create also, but before creating it we're gonna create the all other properties. So let's go below here. Now as we are also, we need to provide one more properties, like whenever that's happening, once you hover in the image, see, once you hover here nothing happened in the image, that sidebar is coming. So here we're gonna create one more properties. I'm gonna just let you know we're gonna create. So it should be that product card and site nav, that navigation bar you're gonna create. But before creating it, as we finish on that div, let's just go below on that div. Now we're gonna go with that h3 tag, and it should be item dot overview. We are passing the overview now, so that we can see how it gonna look alike. As you see, that's the portion it will be. So go in that layer, I'm gonna make it flex. Flex should be in column, and I'm gonna give a gap of 2, padding of horizontal should be 2 and padding bottom should be 2. Okay, looks cool. Now we can style with that. So in a class name, text should be extra small. I'm gonna make it in uppercase. Font should be semi bold and text should be light text. Okay, so after h3 we're gonna also provide one h2 tag by which we are going to define our item dot title, or I think the name it should be, yeah, the name properties. So now we are going to passing the name. If we click save, we can see the name, but name is coming like in a weird shape. We're gonna make it in a perfect way, but before doing that we're gonna put a class name should be text should be LG, font should be bold, and we're gonna use that line clamp by default. Now previously what you need to do to use that in the tailwind config.ts, in that parameter you need to define here for the line clamp, but right now in this new tailwind css build is coming by default, so you no need to install or keep that plugins as require. Okay, if you're keeping it require you're gonna get an warning, so try not to use that. It will just support by default, so we're getting that portion. Now I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so that you can see the changes here, so no need to toggle through that. So okay, now you can see that. So now after that h3 tag we're gonna just not h2 tag, the name, we're gonna get another div, and here we're gonna put that md outline star icon should be star outline, not star okay, star outline, yeah. So that's the icon we are going to provide, and for that icon you can use the way you prefer, but we're gonna keep it as simple to just to show the variance. So put a class name, text should be the base text, and text okay, text should be light text, and then flex item should be center. And why I did that, because we are going to keep it as 5. Okay, the 5 icon is done. So now we need to create one button here to just to showcase the button. And what we're gonna do to create the button, we're gonna create a unique button, not like any other properties to create a several button instances, but a unique button by which we can be deliver each and every single properties, like whenever is adding product is added or not added, we can just show the regularity. As you see, the button I use here is also the button I use here, is also the button I use here. So everywhere I use one single button by which it's giving, like whenever I just keep the button as a use client and all the functionality within one single component by which I can manage it so peacefully. Like if I need to change any condition, if I need to change any style, I'm just gonna passing it, the rest is just simple, I'm just keeping it. Okay, so now let's just create that button. So what I'm gonna give a name of that, it should be add to cart button.tsx rfce. So now we will just define that button here. So after that div, so in the product cart, so it should be okay, that's the div. Now here we're gonna provide that add to cart btn. Okay, so if we go back here, that add to cart button should be aligned here. So now let's just before dealing with the other properties, I'm gonna just define our simple button here right now, because later on we're gonna provide all the complexity, the one which we want to show. So what we're gonna do, instead of the div, I'm gonna just give a name of that, what we can say, because we need to also provide the style. Okay, for right now I'm gonna just prefer it as a button, put a class name, and here it should be bj of, we're gonna give a custom bj, should be f7. Okay, that will be the custom bj. I'm gonna make it uppercase. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. Uppercase. Text should be extra small and padding y should be 3. Okay, looks cool. and then text should be center, and then rounded should be full rounded, font should be semi bold, and hover bg should be black, and whenever I'm gonna hover, text should be white, and hover scale should be 105, and duration should be 200, cursor should be pointer. If we roll back here, as you see, that's the same thing going to happen. Okay, but is it uppercase? Yeah, add to cart, and also add to cart btn. Okay, it should be add to cart, right? We are going to provide as add to cart, I believe. So add to cart. Okay, so as you see, the same functionality is just coming here, but we are going to do a simple trick here. What the trick should be, in that here I'm gonna take that class name, which we can pass as a props also. So it should be class name. We can also pass the title, so we can take the title. So if you want to take the title, we can pass, otherwise it will just work, would be fine. So now we're gonna define the interface. Should be, you can also define the type, okay, but I love to use the interface, just simple. You can go with the types also, no worries. So interface props, so here we're gonna pass that class name, and that class name, it is available, then it should be string. And also you can do one more things. Instead of passing it here, I will show you one more properties here. You can pass it here also. So if we put that class name, if it's available, it should be coming as a string. As you see, it's working. And also we can go with another properties. If it's title available, then it's going to also get with the string. Okay, should be aligned with the string. So we have the item, we have the class name, but what's wrong here? Okay, yeah, class name. What we did wrong? Okay, let me just see again. So that's the function element, all distracted elements are unused. Okay, we're gonna use it. Okay, so what we're gonna do it here, in that return positioning, we can define a class name. So it will be new class name, and that new class name we can define here. So it should be tw merge, and then we're gonna pass all the class name which we are delegating here. Just pass it here, and we're gonna wrap that here. Then after passing that one, we can also define the class name which we are going to use, or we are going to provide. For right now, as we are not having the title, we'll just keep the title as not assured, as we are not using it. So as you see, the button is not any style, so in that class name we can just pass that new class name. Okay, so now what is going to happen if we roll back in our product card, and if we just pass that class name, and we can just pass that bj rate of 600, you see that applied. So first it gonna just give the priority of the class name whichever we are providing. Later on it gonna initialize the other class name. So for right now, as we are not going to make any functioning here right now, so we're gonna just keep it like that. And also, as for the title, if you use, you can just keep that as a title. Like you can, you want to pass the title for that product card the way you prefer. Okay, it's not here, should be here. So okay, the title is a string, we can pass that title. So what I'm gonna say is that, so I'm gonna wrap here. So if the title is available, I'm gonna put the title, otherwise should be add to cart. So that's the add to cart. For right now, I think that will save the purpose. So after adding to the cart, as you see, that much functionality is okay, it's done, but we need to create this portion. Okay, so how we can do that? That's very simple. We will use a simple component properties here from that from headless UI. So what we need to do is that we need to create one properties. First we will create a function. So as we are going to do that, how we can make that happen. So we should be able to see it. Okay, so we're gonna define one state. So it should be, by the way, there should nothing for use client or because I just mess around when I was saying add to cart button because of the client properties. No, this is not the Next.js project. Okay, so there is no advantage of use client or use server. Okay, so it's just go in a simple way. So now what we need to do is that we will just put we're gonna just make one properties which going to say const open, and also it gonna say open set, or you can just it should be set is open. So these properties we can use. Also the name of that should be is open. So with that we're gonna keep that our toggle. So right now just make it as true just to see how it going to be happen. So as it's showing it going to be true, so we will also define one function should be const open, and that open going to define one parameter which going to be that like set is open should be true once is saying open, and I'm gonna just copy that property and it should be that close, and that set is open should be false. Just a simple two parameter. And how and when it going to work? So as you see in this span here, we're gonna create it here. So on click whenever is open, so whenever we click it will be open properties. So if I click here, the open should be true and false. If I just inspect for right now, as you may see, if I just make it as false right now is true, so I'm gonna make it false, and I'm gonna log the properties of is open, save as is false. If I click, you see the true. First is 15 are false, but if I click one is showing that particular one. So now we can start working on that. So whenever is open, we need to see the value properties, and what we gonna showing the user. As you said that div, below that div I'm gonna get a transition. So it will be transition, and that transition need to import from headless UI. And if you just look at the packages which we have in the client sector, you can see the headless UI React is already installed here, and all the properties installed whichever we are using. So if we need in future, we're gonna install also. So if you're up and running with different part of the videos, just follow through the packages which we are having. So now it should be the transition, and within the transition I need to pass when the transition going to be seen. So it should be available as a div, should be as a div, it will work. And also it going to get the class name, should be the class name would be I'm gonna make it as relative, and also z going to be 10 showing the middle, and focus should be outline should be none. And also one more properties on close, and whenever we're gonna just make it close, so it should be on close. Why is not getting that property? So it should be on okay, it should not be that one. So like how actually we can make that properties happen. So it will when it gonna show, that's the we can say. So it will show when is open is available. So whenever is open available, that particular thing going to be appear. So now we're gonna take a dialog, so it will be dialog, and also it need to import from that headless UI. And in the dialog I'm gonna take a div, and within that div parameter I'm gonna take that transition child. So should be transition child, yes, transition child. So now for right now, also in the transition child I'm gonna take that dialog. So it should be dialog panel. Okay, and after the dialog panel we're gonna pass that dialog title, so it will define the title properties. Okay, so keep it like that. later other properties I'm going to define later on. So in that dialog box, or in that transition child box, that should be okay, so that will be the dialog. So that dialog, as you see, that's the properties which we use. So it should be the class name properties. I think that is for not for the transition, it should be for the dialog. So I'm gonna just make it appear. Yeah, appear. So it will appear. Yes, it appear should be true. And now that property is for this one, and also the on close. So we can define an on close event. So whenever we make that on close, it should be, I think we make the function name as close. Yeah, close. So now that dialog will appear. So now in that div, let's just give some of the properties. So I think it should be one div, it will not rather hop that all. So I will define it within 2 of that particular div. So in the first div, I'm going to define some of the parameter, put a class name which going to be fixed, and in set should be 0, and also z should be 10, z index, and width should be screen. So it will hopping through all over the screen, and overflow y should be auto. That's the parameter is coming from that headless UI, the way they are preferring, we're just following through. And also in that particular div, put a class name should be flex, min height should be full, and item should be center, justify should be center, padding should be 4. So that's the parameter, and I'm gonna just pass some of the class name for, not the class name, it should be the properties for transitioning child, how it will enter, how will enter from. So it will enter like is duration 300, so it's a kind of but just a shadowy blink. Then enter from opacity 0 to transition scale should be 95, and enter to from 100 to transition scale should be 100%. And whenever it's gonna leaving with giving a easy in with a duration of 200, and leave from leave to just the properties how it gonna act. So that should be the dialog panel here. So in the dialog panel, they just put a class name. So in that class name, what we are going to provide is that which should be full, and max width should be MD, medium width, rounded should be XL, and BG should be black. And also I'm going to give a z of 50, so it will be all together in the top, and like that. Let's just z and padding should be 6. Okay, right now let's see if we can see anything here. If we click here, okay, nothing appearing. Click one more. Yeah, as you see that blank spot is coming here. So just put comes just something here, so it should be hurry up. And also we're gonna put some class name over here, so that should be like text should be okay, should be class name, and that what you can say, it should work like text should be base, and within that 7 font should be, let's just put medium, and then text should be white. And okay, hit save. Let's see what is going to provide. And also that one we can put this as h3 tag. Okay, you see the hurry up. So now we can pass one more properties here. We're gonna give a backdrop blur, so we're gonna put that backdrop blur of just put like 2XL. Okay, so now what it's actually going to happen, I'm gonna just reload to see it properly. You see, no, nothing giving yet. If I click, okay, no, backdrop blur. Okay, we gonna see it later on. So backdrop blur is it working? No, it's not working properly. Okay, we can work with that. So now after that dialog title, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just hopping all together. That's just the simple properties, and I'm going to explain what we are passing through. So now what we deal with that, okay, we're gonna give a closing div. Okay, so now what we did here, as you see, you maybe remember here, we are passing a dialog title which is coming as a hurry up. So after that we are taking a p text, so you are saving then there is, okay, what we, okay, Okay, so here we are passing the saving amount, so I'm gonna just keep it as simple right now, put in a comment, because we're gonna create that formatted price amount tag. Okay, so if we go back here, also the button, okay, I think that button should be coming, okay, that button we need to import that button, that's why it's not working, should be coming from that headless UI. Okay, so button properties is fine, so let's go back here. If we click, okay, thanks. If we click, okay, thanks. So now that's the properties. This button is also coming up from the button of that headless UI. So now I'm gonna explore just to explain what we did. So that formatted price, to showing the price variation, we're gonna create that component, but after that dialog we are passing that p tag. You are going to save, then we are going to give the amount, how much they are going to save, and from this product, then just passing little bit of text, then we're getting a div and we're passing the button from that headless UI, then we are just passing with that properties of the class name. That's it. And once you on click that button, we want that action to be happen, means it gonna close the dialog. So that's the same things is just doing. So now we need to work on one properties which we didn't create yet. So what I'm gonna do, let's just roll back over here in our UI. We will just create one more functionality, which is for that for methods. It should be formatted price price.tsx RAFCE. So in that formatted price, we will do some simple trick. What is going to happen, we're gonna just inject whatever the value we are going to get, and then we're gonna just merge it with that local string, that localization. So we can put it as a USD, then we can put it also as pound or any of the value which is available. So first we're gonna take the parameter from that amount. So with that amount we can work with that. So if the amount is available, it would be obviously a number. Now here we can define the parameter. So we can just write a tiny function, so it will be const for method amount, and that amount going to take a new, and it's gonna generate a new number, and we're gonna pass the amount with that number. Okay, and after passing that, we can make that is as to local string, and whatever the local string we want to use. Now right now I'm gonna go with English USA, so United Kingdom United States dollar. So you can also defer whatever the properties you refer, or you can try to pop in with that your Indian, whoever is from India. There is a lot of viewers coming from the India. Thank you guys for following me up. So you can pass it through your NRI, so the Indian currency, the rupees, and also wherever following through from other countries, you can try to divert your own currency amount, your own local currency. So you can change it from here only, no need to change in the code anymore. So now let's go in the currency, which going to be first I need to define this style, which going to be as currency, and then I'm gonna pass the currency, and that currency going to be defined as USD, and then I'm gonna just minimum fraction of digit, which I'm going to take two of the digit, and over here instead of the div I'm gonna take just a simple span tag, and here I'm gonna passing through my formatted amount. So that formatted amount it going to be work with now. So as you see, okay, it's a misspell, should be amount. I'm gonna just replace that with here. Okay, so now we are having our amount. So let's roll back to the product card where we are just previously waiting to create that. Okay, so if I just uncomment it and import it from that formatted price, as you see what we did, item.regular price minus item.discounted price. So the regular price is the price which is not discounted, and the discounted price the price which is currently discounted. So if I 12% save, you see you are going to save $80 from this product. So got it, thanks. So you can put as many messages as you want, as the way you prefer. If I minimize, as you see, it's going somewhere with responsiveness. Okay, so cool. So now one more properties which we're gonna deal with, that whenever we are hovering on that, remember it's going to be appearing. So that's the thing we are going to create. If you click outside of that, it's also disappearing. Okay, now what we need to do is that to create the other properties, which is for did we comment it somewhere? I think we commented it somewhere. Yes, product card site nav. So that's the component we are going to create. So it should be product card site nav.tsx. Oh, what I did here, product card rename. Okay, RAFCE. Okay, so that product card site nav should be applicable here. So it will be product card site nav. Okay, so right now it will be a massacre here. As you see, it's just aligned with that particular layer. So now from that particular thing, we need to make it in a proper fashion which can be perfectly aligned. So how we can do that? So let's go here in that product card site nav. I'm gonna close it. Now we are going to dealing with that. This is the div. We are going to get span tag here. So I'm gonna take a span tag. So within that span tag, I'm gonna get a far star icon, which are going to remarkably get a star icon. So first first I think it will be not that far star, should be far register. Okay, because it will not be filled. So once we click, it should be filled. So that's the sparkling view we are going to create. But just to see that's all the parameter, it's just same amount of things. So we will design one, then it will hit with the others. So let's just go in the span tag, put a class name, and here I'm gonna make that width should be 11 and height should be also 11, and then we are going to make inline flex, also make it as relative. Text should be block. Okay, why we need to make relative? I think that one not required. Okay, item block, text should be LG, and item should be center, justify center. Okay, justify center, and then rounded, I'm gonna make it full rounded, and whenever I hover, text should be white, and whenever I hover, BJ should be black. And duration I want to provide as not 300, I think 200 will be marvelous. So as you see, if I hover, it's getting somewhere with that. So that's the properties which we are going to create. So right now I'm gonna just go over here in that positioning, giving an absolute right should be 1. Okay, and also I'm gonna make it top as 1. So you see it's coming on the top layer, and then I'm gonna make it also flex going to be in the column. Gap should be 1, and right now keep it as simple on that, because later on we're gonna do other tricks. So I'm gonna just get 3 of that portion. Okay, now you see the 3 icon, I just need to change the icon. So 1, it will be for my low arrow left right, and another should be our eye. Okay, so that's the 3 icon we are having. So now what we're gonna do, there is one more properties here. Once we click, as you see, once is added, getting that, if it's removed, it will go that. So we will create that functionality, but first we're gonna implement the design how it can be created. So now in the div, we need to go to create the other properties. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a transition, should be transition, and that transition it's gonna affect here. So right now I'm gonna make translate X should be 12, and whenever I'm gonna make in group hover, translate X should be 0, duration of 300. Remember from where we're getting the group, as you may see in here, we keep that tag as a group tag. So if right now you see that's nowhere, if I hover, okay, that's cool. design is done. So there is one more properties which we are not using right now. I believe is here. So I'm gonna right now keep it not requiring, not require right now. Okay, so also we are going to implement, we're going to use it. So now that's the way we finish our card. So as you see, if I go into, we can see the two of the properties. So after the card, now it's time to create that popular search area, which we are going to create now. And to go with that, let's just go, that should be not popular, it should be like a discount amount, or you can say as discount banner maybe. Okay, let's just go in here. So in that, I'm gonna close all, then let's go back in our app.tsx. so here we're gonna get the discounted banner. So let's open a new file. It should be discounted banner.tsx. Now we're gonna define our discounted banner here. So it should be discounted banner. Okay, so as you see, it should be appearing here. Discounted banner is here. So now we are going to work with that. So first thing first, I'm gonna make it as container so that we can start working on it. No need to put the other designing align. Now I'm gonna take just one more div parameter here, and I'm gonna get the title which we are dealing with previously. And in the title, I'm gonna pass the text, should be popular search. Okay, the popular search is already a while, and I'm gonna also get that same like the HR tag which we have been doing there previously. So with full height 1 pixel, gray and empty 3. So that's the one. Now what we did after doing that, we created some of the categories than the other properties. So that categories, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create a popular search item category. Here I'm defining that title, which is smart watches, and the link should be smart watches. And what is going to happen if I click on that smart watch, you see it's going to in the category with that smart watches. So that's the similar parameter it's going to work on that. So that's the way you can create your unique like category parameter. So that's the, I think 336 we are going to use. So let's roll back over here. I'm gonna take below on the div, I'm gonna take another div, and here I'm gonna search through that. I'm gonna just make that up, sorry, it should be popular search item dot map, and I know it will be two type is there. One should be title, one is for the link parameter. And now okay, I'm gonna pass that link here only. So within that link I can pass through the toggle through to one page to another, and that it will be just simply the title. And as the title will be unique, I'm gonna pass that key. Yeah, key should be the title. And once we click on that, we want to let it go with that category, and after going that category I want to pass that link parameter also. Okay, so as you see it's giving that properties. Let's just go in the top layer, class name margin y should be 7, so it will be margin vertical will be 7 from top bottom, and then flex item should be center, and also flex wrap. So like if it's just getting more, then it will be coming all together. If you just close it a bit, let's go in that header. I want to show what it's gonna do by flex wrap. So as you see it's now full screen all the tab. If I just roll back to make it minimizing, okay, where our tag, you see it's breaking by itself and getting room for other one. As you see, just the flex wrap is doing that magic within your application. So okay, so after that, after flex wrap, and I'm gonna give a gap between of 4. Now let's just come over here in that link parameter. Let's just give it some design to go and make it look better. So class name, so should be border should be 1 pixel, oh no, not XP, should be PX. Okay, and after giving the border should be gray of 300. Okay, as you see, a little border is hovering here. Now after giving the border, padding X should be 8 and padding Y should be 3 and rounded should be full. I'm gonna make that as a capitalized so that the first letter in every word should be caps, like the bigger letter. Font should be medium. Okay, font medium. Then whenever I hover, PG should be black, and whenever hover, text should be white, and I'm gonna giving a duration of 200. Okay, that's cool. Now it's working so fine. So with that, we finish with that particular div parameter, which we are going to have the link and other properties. So that's the div we have been done, that's the div we have been done. So let's go and take another div. So within that div, we're gonna create some of the other properties, which going to be, let's just pass define the class name on that so that you can understand in a perfect way. Which should be full, padding Y should be 5 by default, MD padding Y should be 0, MY should be 12 to give you room, and BJ it should be F6 F6 F6. Okay, we need to also keep that hash. Okay, and rounded should be LG. After that, flex item center and justify between overflow hidden. So right now you will not be seeing anything. So if I just remove that padding Y properties, you see there is a background available. So that's the properties which we are likely to create right now. So I'm gonna keep simple with that. Now I'm gonna take an image tag. That image tag going to get the image of discounted image 1, and I'm gonna put an alternative tag of that discounted image 1, and also put a class name. By default it's going to be hidden. LG screen inline should be flex, and height should be 36. So let's roll over. You see our first image already appeared. So after that image, I'm gonna take another div. Within that div, I'm gonna take one more div, and H2 it should be written Sony headphone. Okay, so now as you see that too, but before finishing that, I'm gonna define one more image here so that we will be seeing it very perfect way. So it should be img, and there I'm gonna say discounted image 2. Okay, and here also discounted image 2. Put a class name. By default hidden LG, inline flex, height should be 36. So see, two images. If I go in a smaller screen, okay, right now you can see, but if I go a smaller screen, it's just disappear, only the text is available. Okay, so that's what we are going to create. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we need to define that parameter of the text. So let's go here in that div. We're gonna style other properties. So after that Sony, we're gonna pass a link here, which going to define that discount 20%. Now if we click on the discount, you see it's getting us to that our product screen, which are going with the discounted amount. So that's what we are going to create here also. So now it should be aligned with that to our product. And of course let's put some class name. Should be border should be red of 600, and padding X should be 4, padding Y should be 2, text should be XL, MD text should be 3XL, text should be red of 600. Okay, and rounded should be full. Okay, let's go. You see that text working. So now we need to also work with that H2 tag, but right now I will work with that particular div here altogether. So it should be flex item center, and then justify center, gap in X should be 3, and text should be by default Excel. MD text should be 4 Excel, and then font should be bold. Cool, it's working. Now after that div, we can just generate one p tag. So below that div, getting a p tag. So now we just gonna pass a simple parameter which is going to say you are out to play or stepping out to make. Okay, so on that p tag, let's just define some of the class name for it. Put a class name. Should be text should be small text, and text should be gray of 600, and font should be medium. Okay, that's cool. What else we are missing? Okay, I think that's much. And also one more properties we need to provide, which is going to be, or we can do it here instead of dealing with that. We can just put a class name, put a flex should be column, and I'm going to give a flex 1, so it will take the room first, and gap should be 1, and item should be center. Okay, everything in the middle. So below that, we need to provide that brands we distribute, so we're gonna create those portion. So this is the div which we finish the top layer. So after that div, we're gonna create that portion. So let's just grab that div. So now here we're gonna put a p tag which is going to say brands we distribute. Okay, as you see. Okay, cool. So just keep a caps P. Class name margin top should be 7, and here in that p tag class name, it should be font should be bold, and also text should be 2 Excel. Okay, now we need to define that portion of, okay, we can do it. So here we need to define that images. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna provide a simple div here. Within the div, I'm gonna provide one div, then one of the image parameters. So it should be brand 1, which actually is lying over in the tag. So it will be brand 1, and class name, which should be 36. Height should be auto, and let's just put of whenever I'm gonna group on hover, opacity should be 50, so it will just 50% will be visible. Duration should be 200. So that's the one. You see the brand is available. So now on that layer of the div, put a class name. I'm gonna make a grid calls of 2 by default, and then md grid calls of 4, and after like when we're reaching that lg, oops, it should be grid calls of 6, and then margin top should be 7, so it's coming in the middle. Now here put a class name. I'm gonna pass a border, and then border right should be 0, and border gray should be 300. Flex item center, justify center, padding x should be 6, and padding y should be, just make it 2, and cursor should be pointer, and I'm gonna make it as group. So as you see, if I hover, okay, so as you see here, that border 1, it should be not there. Then I'm gonna also make some other border properties. So that's the simple parameter on that. So that should be only changing with the properties of that images. So what I'm gonna do in that particular div, I'm gonna just replace with the other properties. So we need to import that, like the brand 1 changes is that you can find it with that border R0. So you see that every single part border I'm gonna keeping R0, and with the properties, so asset, just define the asset. Okay, and here also here. So now if we go back here, as you see, why I make that border R0. So border R0 means that left border it gonna align. So all the other properties border R0 only, except here I'm gonna keep it as similar way. So it will just get all the border except this one. other properties will get all the border. So that's the simple funda which going to happen here. You can just toggle through all the class name here. It will make sense, a lot of sense to you to understand. Okay, so with that, our discounted banner portion is done. So one more things which we need to do is to create that blog properties. So we're gonna go and create another more UI, which going to be blog.tsx. I know that can be monotonous to create a style, but just try to understand that style design which going to give a unique look for your any of the component, any of the application, so you can feel much better whenever you have this kind of look in your application. Okay, so now our block parameter is here. We need to start working on that, and remember, once we start, we will just make that as container. Once we did that, half of our problems are solved. So now we need to pass that our title should be title, and in the title we're gonna pass that as text should be our blog post. Now we can pass also the class name here. Class name text should be center. You see, so that's the beauty. You are creating only single component, but you can use it in as many way as possible. You can define it the properties, you can define the much and more class name. That's the beauty of to create on that. So now we need to get our blocks data. If we just roll back here, and if we make that as blocks, you see that blocks data is available. We are not showing it here, so let's roll back to our application there. So where we gonna heading there in the I think in the admin. Okay, let's open the admin. We can create the route parameter. In the public we have index.html. so what we can do, we can just hit that, and here it will create us with the block, so it should be blocks. Okay, just reload. You see, now we'll be able to see the block. Okay, that's cool. That's the simple way you can do with the front end. You can back and forth and create the back end also. Now what we need to do is to get that block data, and remember, we did it several times, so I'm not going to explain you to understand much more. You train to understand if you are dealing with that, how we did that. We are just simply doing that use effect, getting that data, getting that config. You see that config is pretty much expensive here, you see. So with that local, whenever we gonna just go with the production layer, we will give the key here so that it will fetch all the available data. Okay, we're gonna do it later on, and you will find it much more workable. So also you'll get that endpoint data, and after dealing that, we will be able to get our data. I know data will be available. I'm not gonna test it with console log. I have trust it will work. So now what I'm gonna do is to render my block here. Okay, so I'm gonna take a div. In that div, I'm gonna go with that blocks data dot map, and here should be item, and that item should be blocks props. Again, try to go with the type. We have all the types whatever necessary. The blocks having an ID, having an image of a string, title is string, description is string, underscore base is also a string. So everything is coming as a string. So now we can just return here. We can return a div parameter, and of course we will provide the key should be item.id. Okay, now in that here we're gonna pass another div, then one image parameter, and what we're gonna do is that item.image, and we're gonna write that as a block image, and also put a class name which should be full, and height should be auto, object should be cover, just to define one parameters. And also I'm gonna just see what is going to coming. Oh, that is more damaging. It's not look so good. So what I'm gonna do in the top layer of the div class name, I'm gonna go with the grid calls of 1 by default, md grid calls of 2, and lg grid calls of 3. Okay, and the gap in between should be 10, and margin top should be 7. Okay, now looks much better and fresh. So in that div also we are going to dealing with some of the work. So put a class name. I'm gonna make it as a group, and I'm gonna make it also as a cursor pointer. Now we can define some class name first. First we're gonna define the class name here, then we're gonna define other parameters. So whenever I'm gonna hover on that group, I want that group hover scale should be, just let's give, how much you're gonna give, 110. Duration should be 300. Okay, let's try. If I hover, you see the image is coming out of the div. So what I'm gonna do is that parent div, put a class name, overflow should be hidden, so that it will not go pass on that. Okay, cool. Now you can also put, if you want, that rounded other properties, but I'll just go with that. After the image with that particular div, I'm gonna take another div, then I'm gonna take a p tag, should be item dot base. Okay, cool. And also put a class name, empty should be 5. And now here, class name, text should be small and it will be uppercase, font should be medium, and text should be gray of 500, not 0, 500. Okay, cool. And after that p tag, another p tag should be item dot title, and that title is a good title here, so we're gonna trim it up. Class name, text should be 2XL, font should be bold, and line club should be 1. If it's going back more than 1, it will just be strict, you see. Okay, that's cool. So with that, we are now finishing our home page fundamentals, and we did it with a marvelous pace. So now what we can do, we can go and make it more strict way. So that's our design is done. So if we go in the cart, I think the all pages which we have been created, yes, profile, my account, yeah, all the single pages created. If we go TV box, we should be see the TV box. So now we need to do one more property, is that once we click on that particular product, we need to go to land our product. So if we click here, we are going nowhere right now, so we need to go and create that proportion. So now what we are going to do is that in the product cart, we will just close everything here. Now we will go with our product cart. I believe it's in the product cart, yes. So remember how we did it here. If we just click on that here, it will go nowhere, only in the image it gonna go render here. And also there is another fundamental idea. If you see a click in the product, is going to the product, in the product same screen, okay, but what it going to happen once you click on the view all product, you see it just going on that same product layer. So means wherever we are showing that our single product and all product is the same screen, we are just rendering the product with that condition, and that uniqueness we gonna generate here. So now in the images, on that particular image, I'm gonna just make an on click event, should be on click, it will be handle, and then just product. Okay, so now I'm going to write the function here after finishing all. So const handle product, and here we're gonna define. So before defining here, we're gonna needing one more portioning here which we need to import. So we're gonna make const navigation. It should be coming from use I think use navigation, use navigate, or yeah, use navigate from that React router DOM. Let's see, yeah, React router DOM. So now what we're gonna say is that, so whenever we click on that navigation dot, or just we can say navigation, you can put also navigate, depends on you. So it should be on that product, and what it gonna take with that, it gonna grab that item dot id. So it will go with that particular product with that required ID. So now if we go over here and click, you see it's coming on that ID. So we can now get to the product with the particular ID. And also similar way, if you click on category, coming the same way, but we didn't finish that functionality so that we cannot get it. So let's just go in that our product product. So here we're gonna now go all the tricks what is necessary to get. First we're gonna go through to get it whatever the things we are needing. First we're gonna define that endpoint, but before going that we need to grab the ID. From where? So we can just get that ID from that, or you can just make that what you call say params. You can say PA params. We can just make that use params. Don't forget to import it from React Router DOM. So I'm just gonna open the inspector, getting the console. Okay, from where I'm getting the error. Okay, nowhere. Just go in the home page. Error, no. Okay, I think nothing that. Okay, so now if I just make that log and I want to see that params, you see in that params I'm getting the ID. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just destructurize the ID from the param. So now if I go and get the ID, you see I get the product ID. So now I am having the ID, I can just call through the endpoint. So now I'm gonna define my endpoint. Okay, endpoint of endpoint. So that endpoint, how I want to define, if I have the ID means I'm gonna heading somewhere, if I don't have the ID I'm gonna heading somewhere. So what it going to be, first with the backtick I'm gonna define that if I'm having the ID, first I need to check the config. Okay, so it will go also not the confirm, it will config. First it gonna go and hit the configuration and it will get me the base URL, and after base URL it will go to /products and then it's going to get me through that ID. And why is going to do it, you see the admin server, if you click the products without the ID it's giving my all product, but if I have one particular ID it's giving me with that simple product. And if you have no sorry, it should be, and if it's the ID is not match it will return nothing. Okay, why? Yeah, it will return nothing, so you'll get nothing. So now that's the similar proportion. If I am having the ID I'm gonna go with the products with ID. If I doesn't have the ID, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just simply go and grab all the available products I have, so that if I have the ID I will get the single product, if I don't have the ID I will get all products. So now that should be one of the very interesting things should be here. I need to define that variable here, so it should be const, and I'm gonna define my product data. That should be set product data, and that one for that my of that first parameter use state, and that use state should be that product props. Okay, product props either can be product props or null, I believe. Yeah, or null, and in use state it can be provided as null. Okay, so that would be the first parameter. Why that product props is not coming, so import product props from type. Okay, so the product props is coming, I believe so. The what's wrong should be okay. Why it's not giving that? So should be product props from the type. I think it just of that I need to hit a reload here so it can be working properly. Sometimes the TypeScript is giving just some crazy ideas. Okay, so now yeah, it's working. So that should be the one, and then the another properties which we need to use also, that there I can provide the simple product, then I'm gonna also get all products. So I will have two things. One, it will be an object where I'm gonna save only the product data. Another, it will be an array but where I'm gonna get all products data. Okay, so I don't know why is unknown word product. Okay, yeah, I mean that product props. Import product props. What's wrong? Product props. Oh, okay, that's the misspell again. Okay, so now I'm having the endpoint, I'm having my state is ready. So what I need to do, I need to define a particular use effect to get my product. So I'm gonna go with that, and remember we already did several times on that. And on here also the ID and the endpoint should be eradicated. So when the ID is changed, the product will be changed, because every single product have a unique ID, and whenever the endpoint is changed, it's gonna fetch the all products. So that time also the variation could be happen. So now I'm gonna write a function, should be fetch data, and which going to be an asynchronous function, otherwise it will not save my purpose. So async, and on that, okay, and I'm gonna just make that try catch, and whenever I'm going to get the catch, I'm gonna just make that console.error, and that error I'm gonna passing that error fetching data, and I will get the overall error I'm having. And also I'm gonna get one more state which should be loading. Oops, it should be loading. Set loading. Use state should be false. Okay, so now when I'm starting trying on that, I'm gonna make that set loading should be true, and after passing all the variables in the finally, I'm gonna keep that as set loading should be false. Doesn't matter if it's getting error, doesn't matter if it's getting the result, it should define that value. And also after passing those value, I want to declare my fetch data to make the callback. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to make the call here. So how I'm gonna make the call? So const data should be await get data, and I'm gonna pass the endpoint, means now I'm gonna have my data. For right now in that endpoint I'm gonna get one data. If I make just log here, you can see, so if it's data, I'm gonna get that data. So as you see, one single data is available. But if just imagine if I go from here, I got all 25 data. So that's the super easy way to conduct such kind of powerful things. It's very simple to eradicate. So now I'm having the data, but how I'm gonna save the data? Because there is a two state here. One, where is the array where I'm keeping all the products. Another is an object where I'm keeping a single product. So now I'm gonna write a function, just a condition here. If I'm going to have the ID, means I have ID for the single product, I'm gonna make that set product data should be data. Okay, so means it gonna give me the single data whenever I'm having the ID. So set all product should be empty. And why I'm having that, because sometimes maybe you click on the several product, but previous route where is the all products, so all products also available, your single products also available, so it gonna collapse together. So that you need to just set that if formula by which you can just will know any contradiction. So what I'm dealing here, whenever I'm having the ID, whatever the data I'm receiving, I'm keeping that data as a set product data, and at the same time in all products, if any product is available, doesn't matter, I'm gonna just returning that array as an empty array. And whenever I'm having that all products, just keeping the set all products data, and other product data should be null. Okay, so that is all. And also I'm gonna just make that image and color. So I'm gonna just go and grab two of my properties where I'm gonna define it here. So it should be here. Okay, so image URL and the color, because remember we're gonna have 5 image and also the colors. So now also I'm gonna get an use effect formula here. So on that use effect, okay, so now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just make that set image URL, and that image URL should be product image, sorry, the product data dot images, and that should be the first images on that. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, set product data and then images, set color, and that set color should be product data dot colors of 0. Why I'm getting the error? Should be undefined or can be null. Okay, that could be, but we'll pass the value on that product data, so whenever the product data should be changed, it will change. And also we'll pass a condition. We're gonna write that if product data only available, only then it will perhaps define that. So now we are having that kind of proportion. So now we're gonna show the product and the other properties, but first we're gonna create a loading instances to show the loading parameters. So let's create a loading. So it will be loading.tsx rfce. So here we are going to generate our loading instances, how the loading should be appearing. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just define that. It's just a simple loading parameter. I'm gonna explain what we did. And first things, you need to get that React loader spinner to installed. So I'm gonna just be sure which directory you are here, pnpmi React loader spinner. So what it's gonna give us a little spinner which gonna spin and loading instances. So what I did here, I'm giving a full width, full height, bj giving black of 80% opacity, absolute top 0, left 0, flex call glab 1, just the value, nothing else, and then passing that just rotating lines. So you can just go with that with a little bit text here. So what it did here, if I just come here and pass that, oops, it will be past that loading, you can see how simply it just going to give us that loading spinner. So let's just hit here. Okay, it's coming. Okay, just give it a time. You see that loading is happening. So now when this loading parameter should be adaptable. Okay, so when it gonna be loading started, so whenever we are having that loading proportion, so whenever I'm having that loading, it gonna say us to show the loading, otherwise it gonna generate that container. Okay, so so whenever we are going to show the loading, remember loading when it going to start, whenever we are going to get the data. Okay, that time. Now in that container we're gonna pass several condition. What kind of condition? If we have id, and if we are going to have that product data, and also I want to take another little bit, is a small library, but it's a very powerful library, which is Lodash. I think that would be maybe I just let me get the name. Lodash, yes, that one. So that's the library we're gonna use to get to whichever is area or not. See, it's a very good, it's 50 million download per week, so it's a very competitive library here. So first I'm gonna get that library, then I'm gonna use its functionality. So I'm gonna just make that pnpmi Lodash. And what we are going to check, we are going to just grab a function from there by which we can check if the array is available. Okay, so you can just also put array.length, doesn't matter, it will be simple way on that also. So we're gonna get that it should be okay, what's wrong with that? Okay, first we're gonna import that properties from there, so it should be okay, get it here. Okay, import from Lodash. Okay, after importing, I think now we can go and work with that. So here we're gonna define that is empty, so it should be dot is, why is not coming, what's wrong with that? It's not, it's install or not. Let's just go in the top. Oh, I think the type definition we need to also define here, as it's a very old library, so we need to define that type definition. But it's a very powerful and very helpful, just giving so much tiny function here, which can be really helpful when you are dealing with a big chunk of data. Okay, now I think the error should be disappear, and here is empty. What is empty should be our all products. So now what we are doing here, that should be giving something, that should be giving something, right? Like if I just pass a div here and pass that single product, and also pass a div here which going to say all products. Okay, so now you're gonna just see it in a very fashionable way. Let's just go in our app. As you see, all products. Why is all products? If I go back from the view products, all products, but if I just simply go with a single product, you see, single product. So now we are having the product variation. So now we can create all the possibility how we want to show the product. So first thing first, let's just go with the single product. We will create the single velocity on it. So put a div here. I'm gonna okay, so that will be our first div. So I'm gonna enclose with 2 more div from here. So one should be for the image property and another should be that other properties. So what we are going to do is that, okay, we are going to, yeah, that properties. Okay, let's just start on that. So on that particular div, I'm gonna take another div. Then on that div, I'm gonna take one more div. So here I'm gonna wrap with that product data, I think product data dot images. So I'm gonna images through, I'm gonna map through that images, and here I'm gonna pass that as item, and I'm gonna take one parameter of image parameter should be item, and alternative tag also should be image. Just give a image, give a key tag which also going to be that item. Okay, so now what's we gonna see? You see, we are getting 5 images here. So that is one division where we're gonna get the images, and after that also we're gonna get one more div should be appearing here, I believe. Okay, that's the div to define that images. So let's just put class name flex start should be that one. And then I'm also in the top layer put a grid fashion should be grid calls of 1, and md should be grid calls of 2, and the gap should be 10. Okay, so that should be defining this portion and this portion. Now we're gonna create these 2 parameters together. So there's the one div here, and I'm gonna define another div here. I'm gonna give that image property, and whereas I'm gonna just give that image URL which going to be the first URL, and that should be main image. So now we are having those images, but it's not coming in a good way which we are preferring. So what I'm gonna do, also we can take as index the key. I'm gonna pass that as index. Maybe we can have some same images here as we are dealing with. So now in that particular images, let's just go and grab some class name. So that would be okay, let's just go here on that image. Class name should be with okay, I'm gonna define it with a backtick. Okay, so the width should be 24, cursor should be pointer, you see. Okay, that looks nice. Now what I'm gonna do is that opacity should be 80. Okay, and hover opacity should be 100. Okay, if I hover, you see. Okay, cool. And also duration should be 300, and with the functionality, if the image URL is equal to the item which is giving the first URL, and we're gonna pass one properties. We're gonna pass the border, and border should be gray of 500, not 50, 500, and rounded should be rounded should be MD, or just put SM. Opacity 100. So that will give us full opacity. So it's coming all together the same product. So we're gonna go with one more products here. Okay, because I keep the same product lines, that's why you may see same product together, but don't worry, that should be aligned with that. So now also we will gonna return several things. So on click, whenever we're gonna click on that image, we're gonna set that image should be that image URL. So I'm gonna pass that as item. Oops, should be item. So what's gonna happen if I click? You see the image is changing. Now you can keep the motion, you can keep so many graphics the way you prefer, but I think that's just saving my purpose of the day. So that's my image tag is done here. So that what we can say, that's the div is finished. So after that div, I'm gonna div another div, and here I'm gonna pass the other properties, which going to say just to give an h2, and which going to be item dot sorry, oops, it should be not item, product data. Yeah, product data dot name. So it would be my product name. So in that div, for the class name, flex should be column, and gap should be 4. Okay, and also that 2 should be class name, text should be 3XL, font should be bold. Okay, cool. And after passing that, let's just put another things, which should be let's just put a div, and then we're gonna go with some price tag parameter. As you see, that's the price tag we're gonna create. So how we can do is that just to create price tag. Okay, so we're gonna create that UI. Okay, should be admin should be close, and here in the UI we're gonna create a new file, price tag.tsx. Okay, price tag, and we need to import that price tag here. So now you will be able to see the price tag is already rendered here, but we are not going to see anything right now. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna define 3 parameters from here. First thing, I'm gonna getting the regular price, which is the product data dot regular price, getting a discounted price, which is the product data discounted price, and also getting the class name from here if it's applicable. So let's go back to the price tag, and we're gonna roll back through all the properties. So here what we're gonna do, we're gonna just get that regular price, we're gonna get that discounted price, we're gonna get that class name, and also we're just going to pass that as props. And in the props parameter, we just pass that interface props, and here we're just going to give that regular price, which going to be if the price available should be number, and if discounted price if it's available should be number, and class name if it's available should be number. Okay, so the regular price, discounted price, all should be appear in a good fashion. So now in the div, what we are going to do is that put a p tag, which going to define as that formatted price, and here we are going to price that the amount should be regular price. Let's see if we can see something here, anything visible. You see 20. Okay, and also after that, let's just put a p tag, should be formatted price, and here amount should be discounted price. Now you can do it all together here, right? But this component we're gonna use everywhere, here. You see, we will just define the class name the way we want. That's it. So that's why we can make it more unique to use. So that's what we are going to do it right now. So let's put a class name, and I'm gonna put it with the backtick formula, or instead of backtick, I'm just directly gonna inject tw merge here. So first it's gonna make the flex and item center, gap should be 2, and then I'm gonna pass that class name, whatever the class name is providing. As you see, it's getting the larger Excel because I'm providing that. So now in that p tag, let's just go through it. CLASS class name should be a string. Yes. Okay, so for that p tag, put a class name line through. Okay, should be line through, and text should be gray of 500. Oops, should be 500, and font should be medium. Cool. And for the other one, put a class oops, should be class name, and then font should be bold, and text should be sky text. Okay, cool. So we are dealing here right now. So as we see, finish that product variable, so the price tag is done. And after that price tags, remember which we did previously for that our icon, remember that icon, and with that icon just passing that reviews data. That's it. So you can see it here. What we did, we are just passing that icons, then the review, whatever the reviews you have, that's it. Simple. So now if we roll back here, so in between of that price tag, we can go on that one, should be, or yeah, should be provide some of the class name on that. So that's the one div, that's the two div is here. Put a class name, should be flex, item should be center, justify should be between. Okay, that's cool. So after that, after this particular div, we can make one more proportion is that. So should be p tag and range I. Okay, we're gonna provide that I, then we're gonna provide that one of this span tag. Okay, should be span tag, and here we're gonna pass that product data dot review. So how many people reviews that, and after finishing that span tag, we can just say people are viewing this right now. Okay, we can pass the viewable item. You see 80 people are viewing right now. So here put a class name, text should be base, and font should be semi-bold. No, should be not that. I think it should be flex item center. Yeah, okay, that's it. So flex item center, and in that I we can put a class name, and margin right we can put 1, which can be pushing through it. And for that span tag here for the reviews, put a class name, font should be semi-bold, mr should be 1 to push it. Okay, 80 people are viewing it. So you can just make it with localization to keep it 80 peoples, or whatever the way you preferring. You see 50 people are viewing. You can just put in local creating it more with that, how you can show it pluralize. You can use several libraries here, just do it if you can. Now after doing that, so people are viewing, so we are going to just generate that text, nothing else. So I'm just gonna popping up, because it's nothing fancy we are putting here. Okay, we need to import that formatted price. Okay, see what we are doing here, that's the simple things. So you are saving how much you are saving minus that things, we did it already. So upon purchase you are going to save that much item, we did it already beforehand. So now after dealing with that p tag, we're gonna provide one div parameter, and here we're gonna just pass that color. If the color is available, then and what is going to happen, I'm gonna pass a p tag which is going to say color, and then I'm gonna pass an span tag where I'm gonna pass the color. Okay, so the color is red, and also in that span tag, font should be semi-bold, capitalize. Okay, you can see the red color is available, and I want to define one style. So whatever the color is available, if you see it's the red, if we put blue, green, so that's the things we are going to create. So in that span tag also put a style. So in style we're gonna put that color as the color. You see red is activated, the first color is red, so the red is available. So now after that's deviation of that color, we will take another div. So here we're gonna wrap that product data dot colors dot map. So we're gonna get that as, just get it as what you can say item parameter, and on that item we're gonna return a div. Yeah, let's just put a div. Then okay, return a div. So in that div we're gonna map through it. The key should be item, and also put a class name, so it will go with the backtick. Then first we're gonna say that if the item is equal to color, what is going to happen, and if it's not, what is going to happen. If it's the same with the color, should be a border, and border should be black, and padding should be 1, rounded should be full. And if it's not with that, I'm just gonna make that border transparent. So oops, it should be, what's wrong, border should be transparent. So now you can see that's a whole bunch of things, but we need to generate it in a proper way. So in that particular div, I'm going to generate one self-closing div here where I'm going to define that color. Now let's post the class name, which should be 10, height should be 10, rounded should be full, cursor should be pointer. As you see, that's coming a lot of bunch together. So what we are missing, just in the top layer, put a class name, flex, item center, gap in X should be 3. You see, that's the icon we are getting. Is it only one color? That's the map, product colors.map. Okay, so let's just see what is happening. So just put in style, should be background color, background should be, background color should be item color. So you see, now once we click, we want to change the color. Okay, so we will just click one on click event, and here we're gonna just pass a function, set color should be item. So whatever the color is available, it will see. Okay, you see, that's cool. If you reload, if you reload, it will set the first color, which is respect. Okay, so now we are having that color. So after having that color, on the below that, we also, like on that particular div over here, we will put one more variation, which should be color and n. So if color is available, we're gonna make one button, which not the bad button, should be button, and it's gonna make also that IO close icon, and here we're gonna make that clear. You see that clear button. So in that button, put a class name. So what we gonna define here, font should be semi bold, margin top should be 1, flex, item center, gap should be 1, and also hover text should be rate of 600, duration should be 200. So let's go here. As you see, now what is going to happen once we click on that clear, so we're gonna define something. If we make that on click, it should define that by default we are setting a color. Set color should be an empty string, so that red color red should be disappearing. You see, remove. If I click yellow, black, remove. So that's the fantastic parameter we have been just create. So now after doing that, I'm going to define that other properties. So this is the line which we have been done. Now what we're defining, the brand and category, similar, just making the font medium and other properties, nothing fancy. So you're getting the brand. Okay, we are in right place. I think we need to go out of it. Yeah, now we're in right place. Yes, yeah. So now after that, you see the price tag which we have been using beforehand. Now we can use even the add to cart we can use. So let's just go over here. What we need to use, that brand category we use. So brand and category. Now we will use that add to cart button, and then we're gonna use those parameters. So I think the category till category we are done. So in that p tag, I'm gonna say add to cart. I think that's the name we provided as the cart btn, and I'm gonna pass the title. So it should be saying that buy now. See the beauty of that, now we are getting one icon which is buy now. Also instead of that, we can define the class name here. So let's just provide the class name, and here what we're gonna pass, that bg should be black, the opacity should be 80, padding y should be 3, and then text should be base, text should be gray of 200, hover, scale should be 10, hover text should be white, duration should be 200. Because remember, in that case we are having one scale properties which going to get by default, we are just not using that, so that we just use that parameter. And now in that add to cart button, we need to pass the product. So we're gonna pass that product as our product data. So that's the parameter we need to pass. So let's go to add to cart btn, because here we're gonna get that like whenever we're gonna passing a parameter, we're gonna use that cart parameter. So in the title we are having, so also we will get with that product parameter also. Should be product, and in that product we're gonna say if product is available, it should be product props. Okay, just to keep it here, we're gonna work with that lateral. So now after finishing that proportion, so you can see we are getting the product data and also the buy now. So below that we will just get one image. So after add to cart, put a div and an image tag, and here we're gonna make that product payment. I think that would be the product payment, that should be the image, should be also giving the similar name, payment. Okay, so now you can hopping. Okay, one image is available. So after that we're gonna also give a p tag, should be it should be you granted, save, and secure checkout, granted. Okay, so now here put a class name which going to be, let's just put a normal functional color, should be f7. I think we used it beforehand. And then we also need to padding should be 5, rounded should be md, flex should be column, item center, justify center, and I'm gonna provide a 2 of gap. Okay, and for that image let's just define it, which should be auto, object should be cover, and that p tag also going to get something, font should be semi-bold. Okay, so now if I have the product, but remember once I am just coming with a link which getting the all products, where it gonna land me. So if I just click here, see view all products, I'm getting all products. So now whenever I am going to the all products, I am going to do something crazy. So first thing first, I'm gonna define my products here. So in that particular div, I'm gonna get the product. So what I'm gonna do, putting a div here, I'm gonna just go in a cross link. If it's loading, then I'm gonna just, okay, I think the loading parameter is not necessarily, because it will not be loading, we are checking already that. So here I'm gonna just define that all products dot map, let's see, item, which is going to be product props, and here I'm gonna just returning the value of that product card. So I'm gonna generating the product card here, by which I'm gonna save all the product on that particular entity. Okay, also should be product card, and from here item should be item, and key should be item dot id. Now if I save, you see I have all products here, but just need to make it in a proper fashion. So for that I'm gonna just make that as grid columns of 2, and then md grid calls of 2. Okay, just I'm gonna put that lg as though I'm getting that, so I'm gonna make it maximum 4 columns, or in md grid calls of 3. Okay, and I'm gonna also get a gap of 5. So now as you see we have that item. Okay, looks cool. And also we can define one more properties which going to say us to provide as a p tag, which say products collection. Okay, so in that product collection we're gonna make that just class name. Text should be 4XL, font should be semi bold, margin bottom should be 5, text should be center. Okay, so now we need to make one more properties, is that okay, something Axios error. And don't worry, that error you will never get because I didn't use Axios when I'm building this application. So this one previously I used Axios, which I didn't remove yet, so you will not get that problem. So don't worry, don't freak out by seeing that. So now I need to get that properties. So what I'm gonna do over here, so that's my p tag. So what I'm gonna do, that div I'm gonna wrap it through another div. Okay, so in that div I'm gonna get another component, should be another UI, and that UI it should be for that category filters.tsx rfce. So here I'm gonna define my categories property. So now it should be category filters. Okay, I think so. Okay, now here what I will do, I'm gonna pass the id should be the id, whichever id I'm providing. So now also let's put a class name which going to be flex item start, should be item start, and gap should be 10, so that now you should be able to see that category filter property is available. So now I need to go and start working with that. So here I need to generate that id. So first it would be id, and id should be what I can say, this id it should be a string, can be string or can be undefined, so both parameter it can be. So now here what we are going to deal with that, again I'm just going with a shortcut way because you may already understand what we're going to do. We're gonna pass that config, we're gonna pass that use state, we're gonna get that our use effect hook here, we're gonna get our get data, because just we are going to load these categories. Remember we already load that categories here, so that's the same parameter we are doing here. So now we are getting the categories, we can use it here. So what we can do on that div, put a class name. By default I'm gonna make it hidden, md should be inline flex, flex should be column properties, and gap should be 6. Okay, now after that I'm gonna give a p tag filters, which going to return, and put a class name. Text should be 3XL, font should be bold. Cool. So after passing that filter I'm gonna pass that another div here, which going to say select categories. Okay, so on that select categories, I think did I missing some of the amount here. I think as much as I remember I didn't miss anything, but why I can't see it in a proper way. Okay, we're giving the priorities, we're getting that categories, so okay, we will define the weight later on, so no worries about that. So what we need to do right now is that, so in that particular div, okay, let's keep the div like that. Class name should be, text should be SM. We're gonna make it as uppercase. Font should be semi bold. I'm gonna make it underline. Underline offset should be 2. Decoration should be just, I'm gonna make it 1 pixel. Okay, that's the select categories. And after that p tag, I'm gonna define one div, and here if it's loading, I'm gonna get, if it's just loading, we're gonna get the loader. If it's not loading, we're gonna get the other properties. So we're gonna do the same things which we have been dealing with that our toasting, with for that React loader. We're gonna define that loader, just getting the size of the limited, giving a width of 50. Now here, if we are having that, means we are having the data, what we are doing, we are going to do that categories. So means we are having that categories dot map, we're gonna map through the category, and the item which going to be that category props, and then I'm gonna return a link. So that link going to generate like we can toggle through with other properties. So here I'm gonna pass that like item dot name. So that's the properties we're gonna pass, and 2, it going to be on that should be category, and then it going to pass item dot base. So that's the name it going to pass, and also we need to give the key, should be item dot id. Okay, as you see, our category is popping, but we need to make it looks much better. That we will do it. So now for that a particular category, what I'm going to do is that, so in that property, after that loading, put a class name, make it a flex should be column, gap y should be 2, and I'm going to provide the mean width of 40. So minimum width should be 40. Okay, that's cool. Now what I'm gonna do is that to make it much more fashionable, much more way is possible. So let's just go and define some of the class name here. So on that class name, I'm gonna go with a backtick. So here I'm gonna make the text should be base, not the balance, should be base. Font should be medium, text should be start, and then underline offset should be 2, and I'm gonna go with decoration, which going to be 1 pixel, and after that decoration should be transparent for right now, and hover decoration should be gray of 950, means overall dark. Hover text should be black, duration should be 200. As you see, whenever I hover, it's getting much better. And also that categories, just I'm gonna give a properties here, and we should be 2. Okay, so now what we are going to do is that let's just go with providing the text color. So here I'm gonna define one properties, which going to be is that if my item dot base is equal to dot id. So okay, I think I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, should be inside of that. Okay, if item dot base is equal to the id is available here, then it going to do something. After that, it going to do something. The text should be light text. Okay, so means it's not active. You see the light text. If it's active, which going to be doing is that text should be green text, and decoration color should be also green text. Okay, right now maybe we will not be able to see, as we are not dealing with any of the categories. Once we are going to dealing with the categories, it will be popping up, so don't worry about that, don't freak out, it will come very soon. So now, because it's going to happen on that category section, because in the category also you're gonna get the same product. If you see, okay, it's just having sometimes problem. Okay, if we go in the headphones, you see headphones is chooses. If we go in the power tools, the power tools is the colors. So that's what we are going to create. So now we have our products. So in that products, we can view the products and we can toggle through. If we just go in the categories, as you know, we are not seeing the categories. So let's just close each and everything from here. Let's go with that category. So in that category, now we are going to define the parameter, how it gonna render. So to do that, we are going to just go in a simple parameter. Remember the things which we have been done yet. So you see, I'm just going to destructure the ID from the use params, and then I'm going to get that set products, set loading, and now I'm just going to get my data. And as you know, we have been getting data several times, so you may already having the idea what we are doing. That you just need to copy one function, then just go and align with it. Okay, so now we are here in the category. We can now go through it. So first thing first, what we're gonna do, it's going to say if we are having a loading portion. Okay, so if we're having that loading portion, we're gonna just show that loading parameter, which we already created that component. And if we don't have any loading parameter, we will just pass that container. Okay, so that's the things we are going to work with now. And if we have the container, first I'm gonna just show you what we can do is that just put that on one h2 tag, and we're gonna just make that as ID maybe. Okay, just put that ID just to show the name here. Okay, not that ID but that ID. Okay, as you see, we are having that ID, but we will not see that ID like that. As you see, we will show that just going to view that ID on that way. So how we can do that? So you can make that const format ID, and that ID we will take the ID which going to be coming as a string, and then we're gonna return something. Return ID dot replace. We are going to replace with that. It's just a checking of that value, of that regex value. So you feel free to go to see how regex work. We're just going to eradicate with the regex how it's going to work. So it's going to remove all that empty value, all that spaces, the dollar and other properties, and then it's gonna create an, like if you see, it's going to map through on that our, see the TV and audio. So it's gonna go and grab that property and go align with that to create one particular line. So if I put that format ID, now you will be able to see something, and there is nothing. Okay, should be format ID. Oh sorry, we need to pass that ID here, and we need to say ID will be available. You see, TV and audio is separated, that content. So now for that ID, should be text should be 4XL, and also text should be center, and then font should be semi-bold, and MB should be 5. You see, cool. So after that div, remember what we are going to do. We're gonna get that category, what you can say, filters. Okay, so in the category filters, we need to pass one parameter which should be ID, should be ID. So you see, category filter available. And now there should be another properties which going to giving us the product. So we need to get that also. We're gonna pass a div, and in the div, remember now what we're gonna do. We're gonna pass the key parameter to get the product, so we can pass all the item. Now what we are going to do is that we already save our product here, right? So we can get the product. So what we are going to do to pass all the products property, so should be it should be product card. Okay, we can get the product card. Item should be item, and then there is a mistake, because as we did it here, we also did previously in that. We just need to get that products property. Oops, we should need to wrap it here. Okay, also we need to import that products prop. So we are getting that products. Now if you click, okay, we are having that, but not in a good way, so we will make it better. So first thing first, make some of that class name should be flex, and also item should be start, and then gap should be 10, so it will align there. Now what you need to do in that particular div, put a class name should be grid calls of 1, just put 2 md or 1 e2, okay, 2 md, grid calls of 3 lg, grid calls of 4, gap should be 5. So now as you see, we are having those amazing flavor here. As you see, that category section work, so we can just fetch through each and every categories. If we click, it's similar things but coming in a very good ramping fashion. Go headphones available. So I think that's now giving much more uniqueness here. So what we can do, we can really make the things happen to go in a very further level. So I think that can be much more helpful. So now one more things, so to push all over the things. So now it's time to push that code, because in our next part we are going to build the other properties. To next build, it's going to be that storage and registration, like creating the user and storing the data. And the fourth part, we're gonna go with payment, checkout, order, and other properties. So what I'm gonna do, git add dot to keep everything. Git commit should be second part done. Should be, I made a mistake here. Okay, I think we need to reject it. Okay, now it should be done. Git, okay, it's my bad. So git commit done, and then git push. So it will not take, so it should be git push origin part 2. So it's gonna push that code to our second part. So whenever you can march that second part here, or you can just go through it. As you see in the main, if I go in part 2, that is available right now. Okay, so that's the thing, you can just compare and pull that from the 2. So okay, so I think that can work for you, and you can do that and make the trick. So I believe it can really helpful. If you are coming here with me right now here, congratulations, you did a nice job. And in our next video, we're gonna go and try to finish all together whatever the balance is available. And I think that can really helpful to create such a good project by yourself. And I'm gonna see you in the next build.